Allow the children to handle the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind. Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego political, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't the political, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo.
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo, la mo to do. Mayegun la wa mo, la mo to do.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us now. It is Mayegun's brunch time live. Please, as you know, right, this is an open mic session, okay? We have two parts. Now we do have two parts. So the first one is just to give you the appetizer of any updates happening in Nigeria. The second part is dedicated to us reading at least a chapter from our selected book. Right now, we are reading the White Malice, and that's going to be us continuing from chapter 8, chapter 9 as well, if time permits. But before then, subsidy is back, even though it never left. Wale Edun, the finance minister of Nigeria, has come out to say they actually paid over 3.6 trillion naira on subsidy in 2023. Please share this broadcast, invite your friends and your not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayeguti. So let's kind of save our time, okay? Because we are starting kind of late. It's like 20 minutes late. Anyway, it is just an update, okay? The finance minister of Nigeria, who happened to be one of those that have been championing the lie that the reason why you are going through what you are going through in Nigeria right now is because it is necessary. Nigeria cannot afford to pay subsidy anymore. And that was kind of like plausible when they were making that stupid, fraudulent argument. Logically, the corruption around the subsidy payment in Nigeria is so obvious, and it is more or less like every government in Nigeria since they started paying that subsidy. Every successive government in Nigeria is interested in stealing their own money through that same subsidy, every one of them. But under the APC, Ebekebe, where the whole thing got really, really scary. Bokwari, who came and told you what was subsidy? Subsidy is a scam. It is a scam of the rich. It is like a coup or a treason against the country. But the criminal politicians who were supposed to actually really stop it and end it, they were not interested. But everyone would love the politics around it. I mean, I do remember. Do you remember this? When the guys who fought against the removal of subsidy in 2012, then came in 2024, 12 years after that, sorry, 2023, 11 years after that, to say, oh, it's been removed. But it wasn't. And I remember at the time telling you that thiefnubu is not removing subsidy. He is only replacing those who are accessing that fraud, that scam. It is like this. The NNPC in Nigeria is the one that have the right to bring refined products into Nigeria. However, this NNPC now give this license to their friends, including Dangote, the man that was supposed to complete a refinery that will stop the importation of fuel into Nigeria. Now, you see, they know those who they gave the license to bring fuel into Nigeria. Also, the same NNPC is meant to pay for the subsidized products. Remember, their friends are the importers. They are the importers. So if their friends come back and say, oh, it's going to be 1 trillion naira, it is just them. So what did thiefnubu do? He replaced those beneficiaries. The money has to come to him and his own friends. Robbing Nigeria under Bokwari was for Bokwari, his family, and friends, obviously. So when thiefnubu said subsidy was gone, he wasn't talking to you, the typical Nigerians who love to lie to themselves. No, he wasn't talking to you. He was actually talking to those who are being paid that money. Then they were replaced, and the payments continued. In fact, IMF said, the same IMF giving him money and also setting the monetary policy for Nigeria, the interest rate, the tax collection, and the rest of that. The same IMF came out and said, this subsidy is not gone. No. In fact, Nigeria is paying more for subsidy. You were supposed to be paying less for petrol. Yeah, for fuel in Nigeria. Because you know something? Under Bokwari, Bokwari was paying over 400 billion naira every month just to make sure that you were buying the fuel at 167 naira per liter. That's how much they were sharing just to ensure that. Then this Bewiri Agbero druggie came on and said it's gone. And right there and then, the price of petroleum jumped by over 400%. And it affected everything up to this day, up to this moment. But isn't that a betrayal of trust? I am talking to those of you who believe that Tinubu removed subsidy, right? Like those of you who have pushed the argument, man, it's needed to be removed. Let us be honest. It's just that they did not plan well. I'm talking about those of you who have been trying to hide behind. It's a good thing to be removed. It's a very good thing. The only reason why they don't like Tinubu is because he removed subsidy. It was never removed. Isn't that going to sound like or isn't that a betrayal of trust? There are people suffered for nothing. And they are still suffering now. And they should know it is also for nothing. Isn't that a betrayal of trust? I mean, I will be betrayed if I have been everywhere explaining to people, right, that, listen, let us be honest. This subsidy is a scam. Nobody, let them remove it and use the money to fund education, to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure. Was that not what they told you they were going to use the money for? How come none of them has been able to come out and tell you how much they have saved from subsidy? To cover or to save face, they started printing money. Tinubu has printed over 20 trillion naira. Are you listening? Yes. They have printed over 20 trillion naira just to cover face, to tell you that the subsidy that we removed is not that we are saving the money per se. But have you noticed that the states are getting more money now? Along Oba, God in wherever you are. How could you let the people be so gullible and misled that they believe the word of these rogues? Because listen, Emefiole printed money that was not tied to anything. And that triggered hyperinflation in Nigeria. 27.5 trillion naira, $50 billion. And nobody, not a single person, can come out and say, this is what the money was used for. Everybody is hearing they printed money, They shared it, printed money, shared it. But nobody is able to come out and say, oh yeah, we were able to trace 5 trillion of the money. This is what they used it for. In this state, in that local government, in this part, no. So that money was pumped into Nigeria with nothing attached to it. Money is everywhere, but money is valueless everywhere. So Tinubu and gang came in order to, that is their own economic, their own economic policy, to reduce that so much money in the Nigerian circulation. So they said they were doing cashless policy, which Emefiole also did. Emefiole was lying to them that he was doing cashless policy, but he was printing cash that they were sharing to between the Bokwari, his family members, the state governors, and their family members. And as they were receiving the money, they were converting it to any available dollars. Businessmen and women who were really those who bring in goods and services to Nigeria, they were scrambling for dollars. Why the rogues, once Emefiole printed money and they handed it to them, they bagged the money, went straight, go straight to their partners in the banks, okay? Exchange it to dollars out of Nigeria. Nigeria Central Bank was emptied of forex by those rogues, but the naira was everywhere. It got so bad. People were using naira to buy naira inside Nigeria. They are still doing it now. So to cut this too much money, according to this Kadobi and his gang, they now made a policy that all the banks in Nigeria, you must keep 40% of your depositors' money with the central bank. So which means to reduce the money in circulation. That is the belief that some of you economic students probably felt like, yeah, that's a good, yeah. But you have no idea that these rogues are also printing money at the same time. They said, no, we are not printing money. But in January, they came out and they said, oh, we gave thiefnubu 9.7 trillion, nearly 10 trillion. That was the time I was saying they've printed over 15 trillion. They came out just in January. And they said, yeah, but we loaned the federal government of thiefnubu 9.7 trillion naira, nearly 10 trillion naira. That's the printed money. Yeah, that's printed money. Print it and hand it over. Print it and hand it over to them. So they were sharing money, and the states, indeed, some states were getting more money. But these are printed money. This is not money made from taxes. This is not money made from, sales or any production at all. This is printed money. The real money that is supposed to be the legitimate money, including taxes and all of that, they have become so peanuts that Nigerians have become so poor, that the government of Nigeria has become so poor too. People don't pay taxes, especially when they work, no, they pay tax. They can see, those of you who are still paying, they can still fool you as much as they like. Very soon you will not be able to, they will not even have anything to squeeze from you anymore. And they will go and print money. So as they are printing, they are sharing that to look good on paper. But do you see the betrayal of trust here? You are suffering because subsidy was removed. You are suffering because you were told that some few people are benefiting from the subsidy and it's not helping the people. You agreed. You were speaking grammar, left, right, and center. Some of you actually were still repeating the same thing. That is because of subsidy. But yet, the finance minister of Nigeria has now come out to say between June and December 2023, they actually paid 3.8 trillion naira on subsidy. And yet, you were buying a liter for over 700 naira per liter. Because subsidy was gone. The price of your cooking gas jumped. The price of transportation quadrupled. Cost of living crisis hit every one of you because subsidy was gone. And anybody who don't like it, then they can go and do whatever they like. Abi, it is a sacrifice for Nigeria. It is something that everybody needs to pay now. Children are starving. Children are hungry. Children are dying. You know, people are dying because of this economic policy that is not actually going to benefit you in the long run, only for them to come back later and say, oh, yeah, we're paying subsidy. In fact, we paid 3.8 trillion last year. 7 months, they paid 3.8 trillion. This year, they said they are planning to spend 5.4 trillion on subsidy. But guess what? Before December 2024, you are going to pay over 1,000 naira to a liter of petroleum inside that contraption. And they are still going to say to you, it is because subsidy was gone. I don't know how it is so easy for people to be deceived that much. But if you need to study how people could be so gullible and so blinded, simply because of their biases, they could suffer it. They want to suffer it. It's fine. They know what they are doing. No, they don't. They don't know what they are doing. You see all those businesses that are leaving? Many more are still going to leave. Many more jobs are still going to be lost. Poverty is going to become something that, and they believe they can continue to weaponize it. And that's going to be their greatest undoing. Every signal coming from all over the world, reputable agencies, reputable platforms are saying Nigeria faces food, Nigeria faces a starvation simply because of food shortages. People are not going to be able to actually really feed in some part of Nigeria, especially the northern part of Nigeria. Scary reports. But you know the economic policies of these guys. Let us go and buy more rice and share the rice. Oh, let us give some poor people money to go and buy food. We know that the most important thing to Nigerians right now is food. Oh, then let us be the ones to give them that food. Sort of. That is the only solution. It is so scary that they are lying to you. And listen, I can possibly ignore those who have nothing to lose. But I'm talking to those of you who have actually worked so hard to get to wherever you are in the face of that economic imbalance, where you have economic jackass. Rather than solve a problem, right, they aggravate it. Because by aggravating the problem, they can profit from it. Those who are so consistent in profiting from your misery, you watch them, they lie to you, okay, with bold face. And their lies are not harmless lies. These are lies that are ruining lives. Economy policy that destroy jobs, businesses, they destroy lives too. They break families. And there they are. Yeah, we've been paying. No sorry, no nothing, just to say President thiefnubu just want to make sure that they continue to make it look like they are helping you. Have you not noticed? Have you not noticed the way they talk? It is like they are helping you. And most of you are just ungrateful. They are lying to you. They are destroying lives. They are not taking responsibility because they will never take responsibility. But you do know where the shoe pinches, don't you? Of course you do. And that is why I believe that nobody can be enslaved in this day and time without their consent. A lot of you have been psychologically defeated, unfortunately, and you've surrendered. You have no fighting spirit in you anymore. Whatever they have, they can throw them at you. Maybe you can take it. Maybe you can't. The only thing is that you probably don't have that fighting spirit. You don't even know if it is worth fighting for and standing up against these guys and say, come on, guys. Like, do you actually really sit in this your echo chamber, in that your asshole rock, and then you just believe that you are talking to stupid people? A supposed country that claim to be educated with high rate of educated people, literacy. And yet you see these charlatans, you see these economic saboteurs, these dream killers, play you about as if to say, indeed, we are all dumb. He just dropped the statement last night, simply because, well, breaking news, thiefnubu's ordered him to bring you a new minimum wage in the next 48 hours. So he had to come out and tell you that, okay, yeah, we've been paying subsidy. I mean, Wale Edun says they have been paying subsidy. And all of this death, all of this starvation, all this economic ruin and destruction, this cost of living crisis, right? Caused by them saying they removed subsidy. Only for you to know that you are actually going to be spending more than 15 trillion naira, 15 trillion naira on subsidy in just 18 months. Because that's what's going to happen. By December, the entire money they will spend on subsidy is expected to be around 15 trillion naira printed money. They went to the Afrexim Bank. I remember raising that here, and a lot of you know that. They went to the Afrexim Bank to go and borrow 3.3 billion naira. And they said they were using that to defend the naira. No, they were not defending any naira. What they were doing was to say they wanted to reduce the pressure on the demand of that naira. And where is that pressure coming from? Oil importers. They are those who take the chunk. of the forex in Nigeria. They are. It is, man, it is like the endless pool of illicit fund, blood money that nobody will stop. I mean, they will never stop until somebody stops them. And I don't know how to actually break that down for you. Man, they went to Afrexim Bank to borrow 3.3 billion because they wanted to give dollar subsidy to the fuel importers, NNPC. They borrowed the money. NNPC facilitated the loan. Oh, sorry. Yeah. NNPC facilitated the loan. This guy, Tony Elumelu, of, is that UBA, right? Played the role of the middleman with his 10% intact. $3.3 billion. Money that was not meant for any development in Nigeria, but money meant to defend the Nigerian naira from getting to 5,000 naira to $1. So they decided to start giving this money to their friends. Yes, dollar subsidy from September. They got 2 billion, Baba. These guys used $12 billion worth of crude oil from Niger Delta, Nigeria, as collateral for a loan of 3.3 billion. That if Nigeria failed to pay back that money in 5 years, which is going to be 2028, the lender, Afrexim Bank, they have the right to bring in their friends into the creek of Niger Delta and begin to extract the crude oil from that place. They have the right to take 67 million barrel of crude oil. Is how much money that Tinubu pledged as collateral at that early age. Now they are coming out to say, yeah, we spent 3.8 trillion. Let's do the math. $1 trillion at that time would be, 1 trillion naira would be, no, let me use this. This one is straightforward, okay? I remember them taking 2 billion from Afrexim with the promise of the remaining $1.3 billion to be released to them in June from this month. I also remember them taking another $4 billion loan from the World Bank and IMF during that period too. I also remember these guys going into the Nigerian foreign reserve and taking over $2 billion. All of this at the time of saying they were defending the naira. Okay, so now let's use, they said finally they spent 3.8 trillion on subsidy that they told you was gone. So $1 billion at the time was probably around 700 billion naira. So 2 billion will be 1.4 trillion. 4 billion will be 2.8 trillion. And 5 billion will be 3.5 billion. Let's say these guys, they successfully stole over $6 billion in the name of subsidy in the last 7 months. That should jot to you. I mean, because it was at the same time, at the same period, that the liter of petroleum jumped from 167 naira per liter to over 700 naira per liter. And all of you then, even though you were not happy, you thought you were only paying your own sacrifice. Because one day, Dangote refinery will start working and Nigeria will no longer need to import. Only for these fraudsters, who didn't tell you that Dangote refinery in the name of Dangote refinery, over $10 billion gone down the drain from the Central Bank of Nigeria in the name of Dangote refinery. Now, that refinery should be owned by all of you and not Dangote. However, the story started changing again. Dangote refinery that is coming to reduce the price of petroleum in Nigeria is not going to reduce any price in Nigeria because it is not a charity. Coming from the same people who told you that Dangote refinery will be refining over 650,000 barrels of crude oil every day, more than what Nigeria will need. The rest of Africa will pay, while Nigeria will enjoy cheapest oil supply. Abi? Then they said, no, that's not true. In fact, Dangote refinery is going to be importing crude oil from Texas in America. So think about that. How do you not expect him to sell it cheap? The same people who told you that Dangote refinery will be sold the crude oil, Nigeria crude oil in Naira. Anyway, the whole lie shall continue to replay and play and play and play. And you are there, believing them, hoping that they can one day, soon, shame somebody like this Mayegun. This guy that never see anything good about this government. He never see anything good about Nigeria. Very soon now, when all this reform starts coming up, I'll start manifesting, this Mayegun will shut up. Because the lies they told you, okay, and the expectation you have is not manifesting. In your disappointment, see, you are still abusing me. You are still blaming me. Then you are sometimes foolishly and stupidly asking me what is the way forward. Emi atieni, which way forward? Iboni way forward. You are believing their lies. Some of you are secretly praying that what they are saying is true so that you can possibly have something to actually be happy of or happy about. They continue to play you again and again and again. And many of you are willing slaves that are ready to not only go on social media to repeat the nonsense they say because they are wearing suit and tie. Because they went to Harvard, they went to Oxford. All the people who go Harvard went to Oxford who are not Nigerians. Have you looked back to, have you checked on them and see what they are contributing to humanity? Look at the rogues you have in Nigeria and what they are contributing to. They lied to you. So many of you wanted to believe the lies. But the truth is always staring everybody on the face. So what are you going to do about it when you find the truth? Oh, my God will judge them, Jare. You get that? So government is not just about mounting blocks, building buildings and all of that. If you do not have, there's something called the human capital development. It is the most invaluable asset for the mankind. Human capital development. Develop the humans. They become more productive. The more productive they become, the more bountiful reward the state will recoup from them. But you have voodoo economists. You have snake venom merchants, economic saboteurs, and shameless old liars wearing suit and tie, destroying lives, destroying dreams, and taking no responsibility for any. So yes, just so you know, Nigeria will spend 5.4 trillion on subsidy to make the matter worse, to show to you that that contraption is a lawless contraption. There is no budget provision for subsidy. According to thiefnubu last year, there was no provision for subsidy. And because there was no provision, subsidy was gone. But they still went on to pay over $5 billion to themselves and their friends. While you pay over 400% on the same fuel. They scammed you, they scammed the country, and they are not taking any responsibility for that. But they will never take any. Now they are saying it to all of you, that the same Wale Edun is going to be on TV tomorrow or even this evening. Is going to tell you that the reason why people are facing what they are facing is because subsidy was gone. People should understand that, Nigeria is no longer paying subsidy. Yet, the same Idun granted a press conference and said, well, this is how much we have paid, and this is why we are not in a better financial position to pay this new salary. I'll tell you more about that later. Let's go to the next one. The next one right now is that of Wike. Abuja people, I think you'll begin to start knowing why Wike is your FCT minister. Tinubu said he was told never to appoint him as minister, but he went ahead anyway to still appoint him. And right now, Wike is doing great. And Wike to Tinubu is like, sir, you have done so well, oh. I swear, nobody can challenge you. In 2024. Here. That's Wike.
I've told you, yes, sometimes it is good to bring the pictorial picture of what was, so that people can appreciate it. Now the road is done. Nobody would know how it was. So I've told you that next time you should be able to show the pictorial so that people understand, appreciate what you have been able to do. And I believe, by the grace of God, that people here will appreciate. In fact, I don't want to talk politics now, but I do know it will be difficult. It will be difficult for anybody to challenge you in FCT. It will be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Well, I dare say so, because the facts are there. The things are there. It's not about theory now. It's about the reality. You say you will do this. Have you done it? Yes. You say you will do this. Have you done it? Yes. So what are we talking about again? So I sincerely thank you. And I want to...
Abuja people, they said they are going to build the road. They have built it. They said they are going to give you street lights. They have done it. Well, it's gonna be difficult for anybody to challenge thiefnubu. So when Wike is going to bring his army of terrorists like he did in Rivers State, is already stationing them, positioning them for the 2027. I mean, like, you're going to see that happen. Abuja people, I hope you will be ready, right? You cannot challenge Kolu, and it is the same all over the place as they believe. Okay? I mean, come on. You have been, when they talk about state capture, sometimes a lot of you need to understand what it truly means. What does development means for these guys? Is development about just building roads or building schools or building hospitals? More than it. It is not the building that makes it a school. It is the staff, what do you call it? The staff that actually runs the operation of that building that will make it a school, if they are paid and if they are actually adequate too. We have seen, I mean, so obvious. These guys are more interested, okay? That is if they ever did, right? They are more interested in awarding contracts of billions and billions, right? So that they could cut tape on roads, while their people are expected to actually be grateful that they have a road, even if they don't have a job, if they don't have, and mind you, even if you have to do all these major projects as well, you could actually they do not want to make investment, any real one, in the power sector, where, for real, that could help them to change the lives of millions of people who can actually handle themselves. I mean, but they would want you to be so grateful that they are constructing a single road, a kilometer of road for 4 billion, 3 billion naira per kilometer, and all of that. Mostly, right? Badly done too. But nevertheless, they want you to be so grateful. You should be grateful. We do not have jobs. Shut up your mouth. The government is busy. We just commissioned the road yesterday. Did you see that 2-kilometer road? Soyinka Highway. That is development. That is going to bring investors. That is going to bring in. I said, but what about security? Security won't bring investors. Oh, we are doing something on that. We just got the tape on monorail yesterday. Kind of. So that is what you have. And the rogues in charge of Nigeria probably just are the luckiest, right? They are the luckiest in the world. Their lawmakers are earning over 50 million naira, the highest paid in any part of in the world. Somebody of these voluntary slaves in Nigeria and their influencers said there is no country in Africa where 400,000 naira is being paid as minimum wage. Of course, there are places in Africa where they are earning even double of that as minimum wage, but that's not the point. Do you know anywhere in Africa where a senator is earning over 50 million of their own currency? In Nigeria, a senator earns over 55 million. That's the one they put in their law. The one that is outside that is quite, more, where, few people are going to kind of steal over 7 trillion naira from their own budget this year alone. Few people. So tell me any legislator in Africa, in Ghana, do you have Ghanaian lawmakers that are earning Ghanaian senators that are earning 50 million cedis a month? Do you? Do you have any South African lawmaker that is earning 50 million rand a month and earning 600 million rand a year? Do you have them in South Africa? Of course, there is none anywhere except in that contraption, Nigeria, the poverty capital of the world. Yeah, you heard me? You heard me? It's unfortunate, okay? And I remember that it is also a place whereby don't try to be a whistleblower, because at the end of the day, the people don't actually really hate corruption. They are just not really happy whenever they are not the ones benefiting from it. Do you understand? So when you want to be a whistleblower, you might be putting your life at risk. It's not worth it, mostly, right? But nevertheless, if you are doing the whistleblowing just for the sake of humanity, then go ahead. But if you are doing it because you think you want to help Nigeria or Nigerians, no, come on, you're wasting your time. Okay, so these rogues, it is like a calculated, premeditated, predetermined, intentional act of these guys to keep that contraption as it is. We are helping you, we are doing you a favor. No, they are not doing you a favor. You are doing them a favor by letting them ride roughshod on you like this. But it won't be for long. I mean, if I say, like they say in Yoruba, I will say in Yoruba, Atenimeni, yeah, right? So the few more time, the days or the weeks or the month to when this whole casala will burst, to when this shit will hit the fan, is not as long as the years of endurance, tolerance of all this madness. It is going to come to an end. You just need to stop taking in their lies. You have to. Okay? They lie to you with confidence, and then because they know you cannot sit there and just take it in, swallow it. It's unfortunate, and it is embarrassing too, right? So that's, I have a report. This one happened, I think, 2 days ago, somewhere in Port Harcourt, okay, where a truck carrying cylinders suspected to be gas cylinders crashed into a truck, okay, and then exploded. The scene.
So there's a car right here. The truck fell on the car. You can see the car right there. So people are just walking around. There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of people right here witnessing what has just happened, and the fire service people, they are trying to put off the fire. They've actually succeeded in putting off the fire.
Terrible. That was 2 days ago. And yesterday, the man that blew the whistle on the padded budget of 2024, Senator Ningi, he returned back after 3 months of suspension. He returned back to their Senate chamber yesterday. And this was not just him, I think another guy too. 2 of them returned. They were suspended for 3 months for raising the alarm over the inflation of Nigeria's 2024 budget of thiefnubu. Thiefnubu submitted 25 trillion naira budget. The Nigerian Senate passed 28.5 trillion naira budget, only for us to discover, or through this guy, to discover that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of fake projects that were going to go up over 7 trillion naira from this 2024 budget. Imagine what 7 trillion can do. That can offset the annual minimum wage demand of these workers. The Minister of Misinformation said if Nigeria should go ahead and pay 494,000 naira salary of minimum wage to workers, that would take their yearly wage to 9.5 trillion naira. That means they can pay it. But guess what? Less than 100 people are already stealing over 7 trillion naira from the 2024 budget with fake projects. It became public. Everybody reacted and everybody just moved on. Those guys are cashing out now. Tinubu still signed the budget. They are releasing money for all that now. Okay? And that's all Tinubu wanted. Tinubu is somebody that you should know. The reason why it's going to be difficult for you to legally remove Tinubu in that contraption. Tinubu is someone that is not going to complain about everybody stealing and having their own fun, as long as they are all on the same line with him. Don't be stealing and then become a saint that is going to criticize him. No, they will deal with you. But as for looting Nigeria, Nigeria will be looted like you've never seen before. Read my lips. Nigeria will be looted like you have never seen before. It's already happening. Yeah? Tinubu is somebody that just take what you want to take. I'm not going to complain. 7 trillion naira is embedded in this 2024 budget, exposed. But nothing is done about it. It's been signed. The money is being released. But imagine if that 7 trillion is available. And that is kind of added to whatever they have to pay the workers. And yeah, imagine that 7 trillion available in Nigeria economy from the pocket of those who are working. Those of you who have businesses, around that time, you actually have real patronage. So instead of asking the government not to pay them that, because it's going to break, so many other people who are not government workers, they will not be able to pay their own workers and the rest of that. You should ask them to focus on bringing down the hyperinflation, pay the workers, because that money is still going to be paid anyway, but it's not going to be to the 40 million workers. It is going to be for just less than 100 people. 7.4 trillion naira. That is the padded amount inside the 2024 budget by Akpabiole and the rest of them. Less than 100 people will steal that. For 40 million Nigerian workers cannot share that and spend it inside the Nigeria economy. You see that? Well, that's Nigeria. So the guy returned yesterday, and this was how it went.
Okay. Yes, sir. You're welcome back.
Members of the press.
Yes, you're welcome back.
Sir. Thank you very much. I got all your messages.
Thank you, sir.
You say what?
Sir, you enjoy your leave, sir.
Did you enjoy your leave? Did you enjoy your leave?
Very much, very much.
You're
very
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's go and bring another car.
Okay. I will send it to you now. You don't go back. I will send it to you.
Okay, we'll just stay here. Yeah. Yeah, let me have. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah, correct.
So they are back to business as usual. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first, the conclusion of the first part of this brunch time chat. So what is next now is going to be us going to the part 2, the reading of the white malice. If you are the type that probably just don't like reading, well, you've had your shot, okay? So I'm going to be reading for the next 1 hour. And that's going to be also a reading from chapter 8 of the White Malice, the neocolonialism in Africa, how it all began, how it all started. The CIA involvement and the rest, okay? Now, you can also listen to this like you are listening to a podcast. I'm talking about put your phone in your pocket, okay? And put the earpiece on. And you can just listen, all right? But for those who don't like it, I'll see you later. So after this reading, I am going to open the line. Hopefully, right, we can have a chat and the reaction to what I have shared so far. So thank you so much. And reading from chapter 8, the White Malice. This time around, we are going to learn about the rise of Patrice Lumumba of Belgian Congo. And thank you for listening. The rise of Lumumba. For Patrice Lumumba, the All-African People's Conference in Accra had been a political and personal epiphany. He returned to the Congo, transformed by his exposure to the vision of the Pan-Africanist leaders, especially that of the Prime Minister Nkrumah. On 28th December 1958, about 2 weeks after his return, he and his fellow leaders of the Mouvement National Congolais organized their first mass rally. It was held in Kalamu, in the site of Leopoldville. A crowd of around 10,000 men and women attended, eager to hear about the MNC's plans. Lumumba spoke with passion and conviction. He announced that the MNC had a new program based on the Accra resolutions. We wish to carry out this program, he said, with the active collaboration of each and every Congolese, man, woman, and child. The Accra conference, he added, had marked a decisive step toward the self-realization of the African personality and toward the total unity of all peoples of the African continent. He called for the immediate independence of the Belgian Congo, echoing the victorious slogan of the CPP, Nkrumah's political party, self-government now. Nkrumah's audience were excited to hear his words of hope for real change. In chorus, they shouted out their demand for independence immediate. The All-African People's Conference had lasted less than a week, but it had made Lumumba into a prominent politician in the Congo and an acknowledged leader on the African stage. It had also made him visible to the colonial rulers of the Congo and to foreign powers beyond the shores of Africa. Lumumba was only 33 years old. He was 33 years of age. His life would never be the same again. On the 4th January 1959, a week after the MNC rally in Leopoldville, a violent and bloody riot exploded on the streets of the Congo's capital city. It was a sunny day, and as usual, on a Sunday, the streets and bars of the site were thronged with people. The day had been chosen by Joseph Kasavubu for the Abako political party to hold his own public rally. He was concerned that Abako was losing the leadership of the independence campaign to Lumumba and the MNC. The call went out to Abako supporters to assemble at the same site in Kalamu that had been used by the MNC. But when the crowd arrived, they were informed that the rally had been prohibited by the colonial administration. They responded with outrage and fury, which spread like wildfire through the neighborhood. Soon, more than 60,000 people were marching through the streets of Leopoldville. The force publique, the colonial army, opened fire on the demonstrators to break up this protest. A fierce and bloody confrontation ensued, lasting for 4 days. At least 500 people were killed. Many families buried their dead in the middle of the night. The date of 4th January 1959 quickly became significant in the calendar of the Congo and is remembered annually as a tragic event in the country's painful history. It has a similar meaning to the historic date of 28 February 1948 in Ghana, when British police killed 3 unarmed African ex-servicemen. The CIA was receiving reports on the riots in Leopoldville, and on 7th January 1959, the agency prepared a briefing for the National Security Council titled Belgian Congo. The briefing recorded that the police force, which it noted was colored with white officers, intervened with gunfire, resulting in mob action. The report observed that the All-African People's Conference in Accra had been a catalyst to Congolese nationalism. The only Congolese leader it identified as being involved in the riot was Arthur Pinzi, the mayor of a Leopoldville suburb, who had just returned from the Accra conference. The detailed nature of the report suggests that the CIA had a source on the ground. This may have been John Malcolm, the American political scientist who had attended the AAPC. Malcolm's archives contain a photograph of Kasavubu at the Abaco rally. The note on the back gives the date of 4th January 1959 and explains that it was taken just before the Belgian Congo riot. Malcolm, who was on a research trip in West Africa that was funded by a grant from the Ford Foundation, had traveled from the Ivory Coast to Accra in early December 1958 to attend the AAPC. This photograph indicates that after the conference, he went to the Congo. The rioting in Leopoldville spread rapidly to other parts of the Congo. Some areas quickly became ungovernable. Anger was at boiling point, and many people refused to pay taxes. Like the protesters in Leopoldville, many people called for immediate independence. Just one sec, guys. Thank you so much for listening, right? Again, it is the history parts of this session, and you can listen with rapt attention, okay? And you can also do other things you are doing right now. You can get busy while you just listen to this like you are listening to some podcast on your radio. Listen, and if I am going too fast indeed, please let me know in the comments. I have about 50 more minutes for this reading. And then we'll open the line for reactions. So, in response to the riots of January 1959, the colonial government hit back with a brutal crackdown. Many of the leaders of Abaco, including Kasavubu and Daniel Kanza, were imprisoned without trial. The Belgians living in the Congo were shocked by the violence of the unrest and by the call for immediate independence. Their occupation of the Congo had seemed to them secure, that it would last for many more years. As recently as 1955, Governor General Petrol had said that the Belgian Congo could go on as it was for 25 years, and there was really not much point in looking beyond that. Now, in the tense shadow of the riots, the settlers' confidence in their future was suddenly shattered, and they were afraid. They were advised by the administration to avoid the sites and lonely stretches of road by night. From Brussels, the Belgian government watched the unfolding crisis with acute misgivings. They were uncertain how to react. Any hope of controlling the protests and rallies required sending additional troops from Belgium to Africa, which they were eager to avoid. The experience of France in Algeria and Indochina offered frightening examples of what could go wrong when a colonizing nation intervened militarily in a desperate measure to hold on to power. The Belgian government knew that any such intervention in the Congo, with potential loss of Belgian lives, would be strongly opposed at home. Moreover, criticism of Belgian rule of the Congo was being articulated not only in the Congo by Congolese, but in Belgium by Belgians. In 1953, La Drapeau Rouge, a communist daily newspaper, had called for the independence of the Congo and equated Belgian rule in Africa with the Nazi occupation of Belgium. The government decided against a military solution. Instead, it chose to respond to the spirit of the demands being made by the Congolese. Within 8 days of the start of the rioting, on 13th January 1959, the government promised an increase in local and district self-government. King Badoin went even further, promising eventual independence. Our resolve today, he declared in a radio broadcast, is to lead the Congolese peoples to independence in prosperity and peace without delay, but also without irresponsible rashness. Lumumba seized the moment. He gave up his job at the brewery, and threw himself into political work. For financial backing, the MNC turned to the AAPC Secretariat in Accra and Afro-Asian Solidarity Movement based in Guinea. Inspired by his experience in Accra of meeting people from all over Africa, Lumumba was eager to visit other territories on the continent. In March 1959, he flew to Nigeria to participate in a conference on representative government and national progress at the University College, Ibadan, in Nigeria. The invitation was arranged by his good friend, Luis Lopez Alvarez, a Spanish poet and journalist who had moved from Paris to Brazzaville, was the capital of the Federated Territories of French Equatorial Africa. A year after the arrival of Lopez Alvarez, those territories voted in the referendum organized by the French government to become autonomous within the French community. The federation was dissolved. Lumumba had first visited Lopez Alvarez's home in November 1958 on one of his trips across the Congo River to Brazzaville. Both men had a deeply poetic nature and they shared similar political convictions. In January 1959, when the riots in the Belgian Congo forced hundreds of Congolese to flee from the forced publique and take refuge in French Brazzaville, Lopez Alvarez created the Committee of Congolese Solidarity to assist the refugees. Lopez Alvarez was nearly 30 years old. He had obtained a degree in political science from the Paris Institute of Political Studies, Sciences Po, in 1957, and he ran in the literary and intellectual circle of the French capital. He participated enthusiastically in the activities of the Paris-based Congress for Cultural Freedom, having no idea, like so many of those who were involved with the work of the CCF, that it was a CIA front. He sat on his executive committee and also contributed articles to Cuadernos, the Spanish language journal of the CCF. It was the CCF that sponsored the conference in Ibadan, which it organized in conjunction with the University College, Ibadan's Department of Extramural Studies, as well as securing an invitation for Lumumba to attend the Ibadan seminar. As the conference became known, Lopez Alvarez arranged an invitation for the Congolese trade unionist and politician Cyril Adola, who was now a member of the MNC. This was done at Lumumba's request. A tidy, quiet man and a devout Catholic, Adola had early on attracted the interest of American Union leaders. He had been educated at a Catholic mission school in Leopoldville and worked as a bank clerk before taking a job with the labor movement in 1956, which led him into politics. In order to reach Ibadan, Lumumba and Adola went to Brazzaville to take the plane to Kano in Nigeria. Lopez Alvarez went to meet them at Brazzaville Beach, the riverbank where boats dock after crossing the Congo River from Leopoldville. He found them with Joseph Desire Mobutu, who would shortly be leaving Africa for Brussels to start an internship with Info Congo, the Belgian government's public relation office dealing with the Congo. Lumumba was highly impressed by Mobutu. 5 years his junior, and a close bond was developing between them. On Lumumba's side, it was genuine and trusting. For Lumumba, Mobutu was like a younger brother who enthusiastically supported the vision of the MNC. On Mobutu's side, the friendship was cynical. Once in Brussels, Mobutu was appointed as the MNC's representative in Belgium. This put him in an ideal position to obtain useful information about emergent Congolese politicians for his Belgian and American handlers. Lumumba, Adola, and Mobutu would all go on to become leaders of their country. They now met as friends, but it would not be many months before trusts between them broke down in irrevocable and tragic ways. There was some 40 participants at the Ibadan seminar, as well as observers from 18 countries altogether. Most were from African countries, but the US, Israel, India, Britain, France, and West Germany were also represented. The seminar was described by its organizers as the first of its kind in West Africa, offering the first opportunity for a direct confrontation between French-speaking and English-speaking intellectuals. 2 participants involved in the organization of the seminar were tutors in the Department of Extramural Studies at the University College Ibadan, a constituent college of the University of London. One of them was the South African writer Ezekiel Umpa Lele, who was forced to live in exile from his own country and whom Lumumba had met in Accra just 3 months before at the All-African People's Conference. The other tutor was Ulibea, a German who was the editor of Black Orpheus, a journal which he and the German writer Janis Jan had published in Ibadan in 1957, and in which the CCF took a keen interest. From 1961, it provided the journal with financial support. Named after Sartre's essay on negritude, Black Orpheus made the work of him Cesar and Leopold Senghor available in English, as well as a range of African, Haitian, Asian, and Cuban writings. The Ibadan seminar was imprinted with the invincible mark of the CIA in myriad ways. Edward Chills, a sociologist at the University of Chicago, who would become the editor of the CCF-sponsored Minerva in 1961, contributed a paper. The journalists who attended included Russell Warren Howe, a British reporter who worked as a stringer for Newsweek and had ties to the CIA. A photograph of Lumumba, Adola, and Lopez Alvarez trending together was taken by Massa Cook, one of the founding members of the CIA-funded American Society African Culture, AMSAC, who will soon become the director of the African program of the Congress for Cultural Freedom. Lumumba gave his contribution to the Ibadan seminar on the final day. African unity and the national independence, he argued that Africans needed to free our people psychologically. A certain conformism, he warned, was noticeable on the part of many intellectuals. We need genuine literature and a free press that brings the opinion of the people to light. He insisted, rather than more propaganda, leaflets, and a muzzled press, then he expressed his earnest hope that the sponsors of the conference would assist this process. I hope that the Congress for Freedom and Culture will aid us along these lines. Like Lopez Alvarez, Lumumba had no way of knowing that the Congress for Cultural Freedom was a CIA front. Some of the papers given at the Ibadan seminar were published in a thick book by Ibadan University Press in 1963. The title page explains that it was published for the Congress for Cultural Freedom. Lumumba's paper was not included. In January 1959, several months before the Ibadan seminar in Nigeria, Lopez Alvarez flew to Paris to attend the annual meeting of the Executive Committee of the Congress for Cultural Freedom. In Paris, he used this opportunity to appeal to the Congress for help with a cherished dream to set up an Institute of Congolese Studies in Brazzaville to serve young men and women on both sides of the Congo River. It was a dream he shared with Lumumba, and it had been the subject of many animated discussions between the two men. The CCF was delighted with the proposal. With CIA intelligence goals in mind, the organization was keen to establish an influence in the French Congo. Moreover, the proposed cultural center was an ideal means to reach earnest and thoughtful young adults in the Belgian Congo, since it took less than an hour to cross the Congo River from Brazzaville to Leopoldville. Within weeks, the CCF provided some initial funding for the project, and the new institute was born. L'Institut d'études congolaises. That's French. Sorry, I don't know how to read French. Sorry. A monthly allocation was put in place, which was charged to the CIA passed through the Fairfield Foundation and to the Ford Foundation. Supplementary grants were made for the salaries of several employees and for the purchase of furniture, a mimeograph, a tape recorder, a film projector, and motor transport. An additional grant was provided by the Charles E. Merrill Trust, which was another pass-through set up by the CIA. The institute served as a center for local writers and artists, enabling them to meet at any time of the day and evening in the comfortable study hall and the library. A plan was put in place to publish and exhibit their work. The center had a station wagon to take the studies to their homes, since many of them would otherwise need to walk very long journeys. Courses were offered on the history and culture of the region, for which teachers were soon brought from other parts of Africa and the world. Scholarships were offered. The library was soon filled with books ordered in collaboration with the African Program of the Congress for Cultural Freedom. Records of African poetry and music were provided, as well as American jazz. Documentary films were shown. The center was an ideal way to showcase American culture to young adults and to introduce them to American values. At the same time, it provided opportunities for the agency to make contacts and foster relationships with promising individuals, some of whom would go on to be politicians. According to the official statutes of the Institute, its members condemned totalitarianism and attacks on freedom from wherever they came. It is unclear whether or not the Institute's members were asked to declare or sign such a condemnation. An inaugural ceremony was held on the 1st December 1959, to which the Senegalese poet Léopold Senghor was invited. He gave a speech in which he extolled the effort and achievement of the Institute. So, the African jazz, rather. As the months of 1959 wore on, it became clear to Lumumba and other Congolese nationalists that the Belgian government was in no rush to fulfill the promise it had made in January of an increase in local and district government. This was largely due to the political situation in Belgium. The Prime Minister led a weak coalition of Christian socialists and liberal parties, which were in disagreement over the pace of decolonization. The Minister of Congo, who was a liberal, took steps to advance measures of self-rule in the colony. But when these were impeded by other ministers and the king, he had no choice but to resign in September 1959. The new minister halted much of his predecessor's legislation. Frustrated, the Congolese resistance movement turned to Ghana for help. In late September 1959, a group associated with Kasavubu and the Abako Party went to Accra to mobilize public support for their cause. They presented a petition to the Foreign Ministry of Ghana, giving details of the brutalities perpetrated by the Belgians and calling on Nkrumah to use his good offices to share this information with the other independent African states, the Afro-Nation movement, and other world organizations sympathetic to their cause. It also called upon the United Nations to set up an international commission to investigate the events in Leopoldville of 4th January 1959. Ghana responded sympathetically and provided assistance. But overall, the Abako was no longer the primary focus of Ghana's support for the Congolese, as it had been before the All-African People's Conference. Since then, Ghana's support had shifted to the MNC, led by Patrice Lumumba. George Padmore established links in Paris, Brussels, and Brazzaville, through which funds and political advice were secretly transmitted to Lumumba's MNC as and when necessary. But the movement National Congolese suffered from internal conflicts. By October 1959, the party had split into two. The MNC-L, under the leadership of Lumumba, and the MNC-K, led by the Kasai provincial leader, Albert Kalonji, a shallow, flamboyant, and unscrupulous man. Also joining the MNC-K were Adola and the ambitious but weak and ineffective Joseph Ileo. The friendship between Lumumba and Adola, which had been much in evidence at the Ibadan seminar earlier that year, was now contaminated by political infighting. During the turbulent year of 1959, Nkrumah later recorded, Patrice Lumumba maintained close and continuous contact with me. The young Congolese leader was deeply grateful that Nkrumah was willing to serve as his mentor. On the 9th of October 1959, he wrote to the Ghanaian Foreign Ministry, in quote, "May I please ask the Prime Minister to give me the necessary guide in respect of the plan to follow in our struggle?" He asked. His experience means a lot to us. He also asked for copies of Nkrumah's political speeches for publication in the Congo. Lumumba spoke openly and often in public, repeating the call for immediate independence. In Stanleyville, the capital of Oriental Province, his rallies were triumphant. One could feel that Lumumba had marched with his people, noted an Italian journalist. The journalist remembered seeing Lumumba's old father at one of the rallies. His face bore the marks of poverty, and he had the coerced hands of a man who had hunted for food with bow and arrow. Now, these hands embraced the sun, who was carried aloft by young people chanting, "Uhuru, freedom, freedom, Uhuru, Uhuru, freedom, freedom," while they carry Lumumba. On the 23rd to 28th October 1959, the first National Congress of the MNCL was held in Stanleyville. On the final day of the Congress, Lumumba gave a speech to an audience of over 1,000 people, in which he drew attention to the military bases established by the Belgians at Kamina and at Kitona. Why all these bases? He asked. He then suggested the answer: to intimidate us, to intimidate you, to oppress you. What purpose do all these military bases serve in Africa? Blacks are peaceful men. Blacks are peaceful-loving men. Are peace-loving men. All these bases, all these arms that are here, that are aimed our way. Kamina military base in western Katanga, some 200 miles from Kinkolobwe and 260 miles northwest of Elizabethville, had been built in 1952 by Belgium, supported by NATO funding. It was gigantic, encompassing an area equivalent to that of a Belgian province. It comprised twin bases, here and military, 7 miles apart, and with matching headquarters. The air wing had airports, they had transport airports capable of lifting troops and jeeps, fighter support, and a school for advanced pilots. The number of military personnel at Kamina was estimated in 1958 to be 10,000. Amenities included garden cities for the European personnel, housing suburbs for the Congolese workers, officers and non-commissioned officers' messes, with swimming pools and cultural amenities, and a well-equipped hospital. It was Chinkolobwe, observed an American journalist, that was Kamina's original raising the tar. According to an article in the New York Herald Tribune in 1955, The Kamina base had two global missions. One of these was to protect Belgium's rich uranium mines at Chinkolobwe and its rich copper deposits in the same general area. The other was to form a nucleus for the protection of the entire southern half of Africa and probably extend that protection even further should another world war occur. The base was designed to survive a nuclear attack. In addition to Kamina in Katanga and the military base at Kitona near Leopoldville, there was a naval installation at Banana on the coast to control the mouth of the Congo River. No one needs to tell a military geographer, observed the New York Herald Tribune, how this will contribute to the control of all Africa, except the Nile Basin and the northern frontier. By October 1959, the Belgian administration had had enough of Lumumba. They had already been alarmed by his rhetoric and his meteoric rise in popularity. Now, they attributed the growing anger in Stanleyville not to the despair and frustration of the Congolese, but to Lumumba personally. On 30th October 1959, at the end of a congress of 5 nationalist parties, including the MNCL, which had just held its first national congress, soldiers of the Force Publique pushed in to arrest Lumumba. The crowd reacted to stop them with such energy that the police had to give up. 30 people were killed and more than 100 were wounded. Lumumba was accused of inciting a disturbance and a warrant for his arrest was issued. He was arrested on the 1st November and incarcerated in Stanleyville prison. His friend in Brazzaville, Luis Lopez Alvarez, arranged for a lawyer in Paris to come to Stanleyville to defend him. The rioting in Stanleyville continued and eventually spread to Leopoldville in November and December 1959. In December, a letter from Lopez Alvarez reached Lumumba in prison. In his reply, Lumumba expressed his fond affection for his friend and his pleasure at seeing his statutes of the Institut d'Etudes Congolaises, which had been delivered to him. I expressed my most fervent hope for the best success of this magnificent project, he told Lopez Alvarez. My commitment continues to be whole, complete, and total. Unwittingly, Lumumba was declaring his enthusiastic support for a project financed by the CIA unknowingly. Lumumba continued his letter with a clear statement of commitment to the goal of independence through nonviolent and peaceful means. Dearest Louis, he ended, my thoughts are flying to you through the walls of my cell, and with the same love that has always united us, I embrace you fraternally. Lumumba, Patrice. This is the end of the chapter 8. And from my checking, I think I've almost exhausted my 1 hour. Yes, I've only spent about 50 minutes, I mean 45 minutes to read the chapter. Indeed. But again, let's digest that and let's have a chat around that. So the line is going to be opened. For those of you who are still watching, you can now react to all you have heard so far, including the return of subsidy. So don't go anywhere. I am going to give myself just a minute break, and then we will take calls. The number to call is on your screen. All right. Use that. So thank you so much, and I will be back. Okay.
I built this country. I employed 13,800 workers. People employ nobody, and nobody asks them their source of wealth. I have 3 factories in Lagos, Nigeria. I have 2 factories in Ota, build manufacturing. I have 3 factories in Aba, manufacturing, and I'm a thief. And people that cannot explain where their source of wealth comes from, they are not thieves. I leave everything in the hands of God. May God be the judge.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip.
That's right. Thank you so much, everyone, for that. And the line is opened. And I do have a caller, by the way. Okay. But remember, please take a moment and still like the broadcast. You need to like that and share it. It's quite important. So thank you. Here is my first caller this morning or afternoon. Hello there.
Hello there. Good morning, my good general.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Good. This is Jude speaking from New York City.
Did you say AGK?
Jude. Jude.
Did you say Jude?
Jude?
Oh, it's Jude. Sorry.
Yeah.
It should be Jude,
Jude,
right? I'm so sorry. Sometimes this is far from me. I might actually have to put my headset on again now. So, Jude, how are you this morning?
I'm great. I'm actually the first time caller, but I do listen to you every minute of my existence.
God bless you, man. God bless you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I like your program, and man, I've been talking with you. Now I got you all of a sudden. I just said, let me dial my ego and see what's going on.
It's going to get through. I know. I mean, I keep telling people that all it takes is just to dial the number. And you might be trying to get through, and sometimes it's so busy, and you are unable to get through. But still, the only solution of getting through is still to dial the number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm grateful for what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Do so much. I'm grateful for your job. You're doing a very, very good job by sensitizing our people. Our people is so difficult to sensitize, but for the fact that you keep it up and keep it up, notwithstanding the pressure, I so much love that. I don't know what to say again, but I will just say thank you for your good work. I expected to say a lot of things, but speaking this call, everything went off from my head. So
I can imagine.
Take care of yourself.
The only thing that didn't go off is that at least I got him, and I could say thank you to him on the phone, apart from the comment side. So thank you, Jude. Okay. Well, you should
thank
keep
you
calling,
so much. I appreciate it.
So that you can pick on something that you want to say, and you just go for it. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good job. Good job.
Enjoy your morning, okay? Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's Jude, a first-time caller, that finally got through today. So thank you so much, everyone who is also trying to get through.
Hello?
You too should try. Hello.
Now, wow. Now, so it didn't happen today.
It don't happen.
Wow. So happy.
I said it now. The only solution of getting through is to just try and dial that number. You're meant to give up dialing.
Yes.
As you giving up, having that chance. How are you, Baba?
Yes. I do. Now, if I'm from Gabon, you don't think. I try all the time, but it doesn't.
I know,
the past.
It can be meant to, And also, by the way, calling in the afternoon is easier, if you ask me.
Yes.
Not that busy.
Yes. Yeah. But there are some afternoons that I'm okay. There are some afternoons that I call and call nothing. That's why today I was really surprised that the same passed through. Thank you for picking my call. Even you don't.
Thank you, man.
Forgotten some of the things. Okay. Let me remember her. For example, when you are saying Stanley Ville, it's not Stanley Ville, it's Stanley Ville.
Oh, it's
Ville means town.
You see, I'm not good in French. I was struggling to, but thank you.
Yeah. Stanley Ville. So Ville means town. So when you hear Stanley Town. Right? Huh? Yes, Libreville. Yes, it's Leopoldville, which means Leopold Town.
Okay, so
that is why you pronounce. Yes, you pronounce Brazzaville exactly how it's supposed to be.
Brazzaville.
That one I give you kudos now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Ville. Ville means town.
Means town. Like a short for town. Right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah. My hand. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get better now. Thank you.
Yes. So the issue of what is it called again? They say Nigeria this or Nigeria that. Me, I'm telling people here that Nigeria, you know that Facebook account, it says this animal is already dead, but he doesn't know, just does not know it yet. This is exactly the situation Nigeria is. Nigeria is dead, but just that Nigeria do not know. Nigerians do not know it yet. They don't know that because it's dead already.
Or they are finding it difficult.
They don't know.
It's like they don't want to accept that.
They don't.
They don't know.
It might be that they don't want to accept it that the country is already dead, because at the end of the day, you're right. You're right. This is a good angle. So
because I have seen people who tell you normal say this country no normal. Okay.
Yes.
But when you tell them that this country, this Nigeria that you think is dead. This one is just a caricature of it. They don't want to accept that, to say, okay, we know that
they don't want to accept it.
Is no make sense. But it's not dead. It's not dead in Jesus' name. Those are people who are living in denial. Now they say no, it's not dead in Jesus' name. But you lie to yourself.
Yes, exactly. So money makes the world go round. As Nigeria is now, there is no longer any money coming in, or very little money is coming in. So they are now resorting to printing money or borrowing, or even taking money from the foreign reserve and all that. But all those things is just let's say somebody who is hungry.
That it's still not dead. That be okay. We'll see.
That is it. All these foreign countries that are running away and the ones who no agree that refuse to come and give their money, they saw something. That is why they're not coming. Just as you said, even if na leg where the Siemens where they do that what's it called deal in Germany. By now, even if na leg, they're supposed to leave Nigeria. No, what people do recently.
He came back, still died. Till now, the Siemens never reached Nigeria.
They never reach. Tinubu go Qatar. Still now, we have not seen any Qatari. So what is going on? They know something that Nigerians do not want to accept.
Get to from the shape people with the face.
That is one thing. That is one thing, my brother. Yeah. So that is the thing. These guys are seeing something. So which means it will get to a time where they will not be able to pay these soldiers that they are, because when people come out now, Yoruba nation, Biafra nation, they send the soldiers to kill everybody. It will get to a time when even those soldiers cannot be paid. So let me see them who they will send. So me, I'm not worried at all when you see all these things. Oh no, I want you to continue doing what you're doing, to continue enlightening people, to get people ready, because now it is people like you, as you are enlightening others, that is when people understand that, hey, something is up. Let us do something right now and not waste this opportunity. So carry on doing what you're doing. I really appreciate it.
As well, okay? And you should also calling, because it seems like these days now, I know some people would like to call in when they have so much crowd so that they can have a lot of people hear what they are saying. It doesn't matter these days. I advise everybody to keep trying in, even if it is the afternoon. A good thing about it is that you don't even have to speak on what I just said. There may be something that is on your mind that you've always wanted to say. It may be a program of 4 days ago. So if it is in the afternoon, you want to express yourself, right? You can call in and come in and say, you know what, my program on last week Sunday, you said something, I have this, and I've been waiting to say it. Because these days, people shouldn't wait till the time it is too so jammed together and they're like, oh, I've always wanted to say something, I forgot. But thank you, Ifeanyi, though, right? You have a good one yourself, okay?
Okay, I know.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Now, I do have another caller here. Hello.
Idun General.
Baba.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. How are you, Baba?
Fine. Michael from Turkey.
I know. Did you say Michael? Because I kept that face, and I know you are calling him from Turkey, or somehow.
Yeah.
What?
From Turkey. That's me.
That's
the same
you.
guy now.
Baba, how are you today, Mama?
You know, say me my own afternoon time. I will just target this time, you know.
I mean, it's easier now where you can have your voice, you know. It doesn't have to be at night. That is so busy. Yeah. Go on, Baba.
Nigeria. I don't even know what was. Is it that they've refused to pay the minimum wage, or they are deliberating on it? I don't understand.
They are deliberating on it.
But all the evidence is saying that these people can afford it.
Yes, they can.
So what is the excuse? What's the excuse these guys are doing?
I know. They are saying that they can, doesn't mean that they have to. Okay? People should learn how to live with 60,000 and live within their means. You know? That's their solution.
Even though other nations are receiving over, if we use the exchange rate, they're receiving like over 100K, 150K,
400K, 700,000. There are countries whose minimum wage is like up to 700,000 naira.
In the same Africa.
In that same Africa. Go to, what do you call it? Egypt, Tunisia. Most of these Northern African countries actually have a good pay. But, I mean, I wouldn't want to kind of compare them, but we just have to. In this instance, where their own money, you see, in Africa, you see African countries paying as much as $350 when you convert their money, right? And then Nigeria is paying $20. Like, what the hell? $20 minimum wage. Well, it is what it is, mommy.
So when are we actually going to go after these guys? Because I seriously don't understand how people will just be receiving $28 or relaxed in one thing. Everything is almost as if we don't even care. People are suffering, people are happy, but I don't see us caring enough to change
That's
anything.
very funny. See, we are funny too, right? You know, you see them like, you see those dogs, you see a dog that is, all these tiny dogs that are so aggressive. Wah, 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 like
exactly.
That. And then once you get closer to them, or you release them to the other dog, and they're just like, that's how Nigerians are. Okay? They will tell you, in fact, they are willing to fight with you on social media. Okay?
Exactly.
In their way of trying to give excuse for these rogues, right? Now, when they see the rogues one-on-one, oh my God, they are like as weak as they can be. So which simply means that they have energy to drag and fight people like you, asking them to demand for what is right. And when they see the people who are dealing with them and respond back, it is typical.
I really hope, you know, I'm looking forward to this Yoruba Union thing, because in my own mind, my dream is that we should form one large southern bloc. That's why I'm always having issue with this, my brothers, Biafra. We cannot be fighting among ourselves and say we want to bring Oduduwa to join us. Because if we form a southern bloc, one full large bloc, it will be easy to dismantle the nation. You remember what happened in NSAS? Everybody was united, Yoruba, Igbo, everybody, you know, we went after the government. But the moment they just threw in that, hey, they are destroying Lagos asset. So that division, we need to bridge it. Once we bridge
our best and hope people can be consistent enough to continue to handle their own emotions when conversations like this pop up, right? It's not that we are going to feel hot today, we're going to be cold tomorrow, imbalance and all of that. So the division will never be bridged.
Because have that dream. Maybe I'm the only one that is looking at it anyway. But me, I know that if we have one southern bloc and both of us, Yoruba nation, Biafra, we both march into United Nations and whoever wants to march to their office and say, this is what we want. Nobody in that Nigeria can stop. Even our politicians, they can't stop us.
You want me to tell you something, Michael? There's something that people need to understand. I love the idea of the Southern. I think we've promoted that on this platform a few times too. Southern solidarity, coming together of shared common objectives, aim and objectives and all that. Not necessarily having to come together to form a country per se, right? Or in a place whereby we can individually defend our individual regions against what we call the pretty much like a state-sponsored backwardness of thing against us, kind of. It's like, premeditated and all that, right? But the thing people need to know is that whatever our people are facing right now, whether in Yoruba land or in Igbo land, okay, none of this is happening without the express approval and consent of those who were supposed to be politically representing us. Do you understand that now? So, and there is no amount of protest of anything at all that is going to ever change that. They won't. But here is my own proposal, which I am actually looking forward to a day I'll be able to stand in front of everyone and say, yes, it's time. Let's do it now. Is the fact that we need an homegrown movement, a very powerful one, that is well connected to the grassroots, that the people are not just seen as another means of people taking advantage of them. No, they will see themselves in that kind of movement, right? We need to get rid of those who are representing the Igbo people in the Project Nigeria. We need to end the reign and existence of those who are representing the Yorubas in the Project Nigeria. And we encourage same for everybody from every other part of Nigeria, right? So to strive to end and eliminate all of those who are parading themselves as your leaders from your parts. These are weak men, and weak men don't make great country. Weak men make great countries by weakening their own people for their own selfish interests. Sure, you get. So I am a member of Yoruba Union, a union of Yorubas, and the friends of Yorubas who are coming together, and we are working on something that once all of this come to fruition, I can actually put it, I can swear on my life that the moment we get the signal, we will get rid of every goddamn person that is parading himself as political leader or political this or whatever. We will strip them of that power. We empty them. Now, by changing this leadership of our place, it's a bit closer. It's going to take us a little bit closer to either the regional autonomy or an outright independent region, independent Yoruba land. You see, me, I do not kind of fancy that we know those who are enabling Nigeria to do this to us. In the name of governors, senators, the name of chairmen and the rest of them, right? These are people who allow Nigeria to do this to us because they are benefiting. We will get rid of them. But for now, let's keep educating ourselves until that time. It won't be long ago. That is my own theory of saying, do we want to break away from Nigeria? The first people we should break away from are those who are parading themselves as governors, senators, reps, chairmen, traditional rulers, religious leaders from every part of our region. We need to neutralize them. We need to take power away from them. Then we can then face Nigeria. That's my view, and it's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be almost impossible because they have Abuja there. They have Abuja. These guys hide under the umbrella of Abuja. That is why somebody from Abuja can go to Imo State and say, this guy is your governor if he likes.
And there's nothing you can do.
So that is where the issue is. That Abuja, for me, I just believe if we remove Abuja, all these our politicians will be very
We won't remove Abuja, Baba. We won't remove Abuja. We will remove ourselves from the Abuja. That's what we'll do. Okay. Majority of them, like you said, once they commit all of their criminality in their region, they run to Abuja. And then they send their soldiers, policemen to guide them and lead them back to the place they've committed atrocity, because so that people can't touch them. We will detach ourselves from that Abuja. We will not go to that Abuja. But first thing first, we must end the reign of the criminals who continue to lead us to Abuja. That's my own theory. I'm saying this publicly because one day when I go see my picture on top of your screens, if you call me terrorist, if you call me anything, I promise you, I promise you, it will be real. But that is what we are cooking now. We are cooking it now, but that time is coming.
That means your ideology is quite similar to our brother Ekpa now.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. Don't compare me to Ekpa at all. Okay, Ekpa says he's a freedom fighter. I'm not. All right.
No, I know. But
my own is that if the people are ready, right, we will know, and I will be part of it. I'm not going to fight for anybody. I'm not leading any fight for. Ekpa says he's a fight. I mean, he's a freedom fighter. I'm not. Let's be very clear.
No. I'm not even saying you are a freedom fighter. I'm saying his ideology is to delegitimize the governors, which means take the power from them.
Yeah.
So, for example now, if Ekpa gives an order, hey, I want 15 days lockdown or so and so, people will gladly obey, and that's the same thing Nnamdi Kanu had. Nobody obeys any governor or anything. So that's what I'm saying. Your ideology is quite.
I am not looking for that, to be honest, too, so that I don't want to give a wrong impression. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure you get. But I am not somebody who wants to give orders. I do not want to lead. What I'm saying is that, you see, my ideology is an idea whereby when you take the power, no, hang on. I know about the governors in Yoruba land, for example. Do you understand? So when you want to take power away from them, I do not feel like doing that violently. You get that now? So that's why, like, I'm not looking to give out. I'm looking for, and it's already ongoing though, right? So I'm looking for a situation whereby more educated, more enlightened people, right, will understand that, yes, for us to actually be free, the first is to go after those who are holding the leash. Nigeria is not the one holding us down. It is those who are supposed to fight for us in Nigeria that are actually using us as a bait. Now, the theory is to see that not only that they kind of all of them will go rid of them in that region, right? By all whatever means, not violently though, right? I can't say that publicly. You get what I mean? But the people have to do it themselves. I'm not talking about putting together. No, I don't want to put people together. I want people themselves, right, to become those, right, that are actually going to be enlightened and empowered enough to go after these guys. Just watch it out. You know what I mean? But Ekpa, Mazi, they are on a different pedestal, and I don't want to put myself there. Do you get that now? So that you can't be like, I don't know, like undermining what these guys are doing. Because that's not what I have in mind.
I'm not even saying you are necessarily being like that. I'm just saying your ideology is similar.
Okay.
Take the power away from governors. Exactly. In part, not violently, not giving orders. I get it. But the idea,
are like, so me, I am just a teacher. So I do not look forward to see somebody like obey order from me. So I don't want to overrate myself. You guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? You see, when I said I could be put out for as a terrorist, is because you see my idea and my ideology, right? The moment it begins to manifest, it's going to rattle a lot of them without shooting a gun. And you know, Nigeria is a place where they just have to give a dog bad name just to hang it, right? So you may wake up one morning and say, oh, the brain behind all these things we are witnessing now is this guy, is a terrorist. You know now? That's what I'm just saying it. You know, I'm just saying that because when it starts, God help us. Michael, thank you so much, okay, for this morning.
All right.
You have a good
Yeah.
one, Baba. Nice one. So again, there are, you know, there are those who have we have different callings. Me, I kind of want to write my name in an like indelible sort of a mark, right? Or indelible pen, kind of, right? And I want to do that as somebody who not only encouraged the political consciousness of the people, but at the same time, he was able to actually drive a kind of movement, right? A movement of the people themselves, that people would do what, when they look back, they will be like, oh, no, we actually thought this is impossible. How come we never, a move that can make those who are fond of, spilling blood and killing innocent people and the rest of that to keep Nigeria one, never to see us coming. I am trying to see how we can now weaponize the atrocities they have committed against us, channel the energy and break free. The first set of people we have to break free from are those criminal governors and their sponsors, all of the traditional rulers and their deceits, as well as every other structure associated that has kept this criminal enterprise going. When we break ourselves away from those who are holding us down for Nigeria, we can break ourselves away from Nigeria. Practically, I don't have to make any sense to you. Do you understand? I am somebody to watch out for. And the people I am actually associated with. We are people to watch out for. A year, 2 years, 10 years, you can laugh now. I am somebody that will remind you in a few years' time that, are you still laughing? You see those you see as powerful people today? I strongly believe that in no distant future, you probably will be struggling to remember that they once existed. But they should continue. They should never change. I'm sorry I kept you there for a while. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, Marigun.
Baba.
First caller, man.
First time as well. I mean, I've got 3 first-time callers today, like in a row. How are you doing, Baba?
Baba Adele, my name is Chika Alfred. I call from Nottinghamshire, England.
Baba. So that's a Chika from Nottinghamshire.
Yes, so
how are you doing today, Baba?
Baba, I balance. You know, so we did this side, they do the hustle, man. You see, they follow you, they see what they happen.
You know.
Very quickly, I know some people they always be calling, so I'm not gonna waste too much of your time.
Please.
So that other people to get opportunity to take yarn within their mind. I don't want to speak English today because of the vex. You so
Baba, we are cool. You know that.
No.
Nice one.
So first things first, I got introduced to your program by my friend and mentor, Mr. Ayo. He's a top follower of your show for a long time. So we just connected after like over 20 years. So we go holiday for Rome. Wow. So I just come out here and they watch sometimes. I say, big bro, what you they watch? I tell them, my this, that, nasty, that, you know. I got hooked, you know. So and that's like about.
And you've stayed glued since then, haven't you?
I'm glued, Baba. I'm glued, man. Sorry about part of my language. You know, I'm glued. You know. So I have taken my time to listen to most of the topics you've discussed, and supported the best way I can by paying my offerings and everything. I want to encourage everyone that is watching,
please,
that is listening. I beg, make an appeal now, offering. Make an support my Idun. This guy is doing a great thing. My Idun not be Yoruba man. My Idun is in Nigeria.
That's right.
I don't see you as I don't see you as a Yoruba man. They bomb me for Ibadan. But anybody will ask me, I'm Igbo boy, they ask me, boy, where you from? I say, I'm a Nigerian man. Before anything. You think I grew up for Benin, and stop me from being who I am. I get friends all around. Diversity is my key. My network.
It used to be a very great thing. I used to jealous people like yourself That's right. Because, you know, like Nigeria, some of you have parents who actually really move about a lot. And that gives you so much opportunity to see Nigeria for what it is, right?
Absolutely.
And that used to be a thing of pride, Baba. But these days, they will be asking you, what do you find? Where do you find go there?
Who you know? Are you Igbo? Are you Yoruba? Are you Hausa? But you know, let's come down to what we're talking about today. I want to address Nigerians.
Please.
I want to use opportunity. You're going the best way I can. I beg, if I talk with one way no entertain me, you my man.
Baba, your talk. You own you own the stage.
Niger people,
fire.
Niger people, make we wake up. Make we wake up. Make we stop to allow these people they distract us with nonsense, like things like national anthem and all those nonsense that they come up with. Come on. Which kind of thing be this one? See Wale showing camp, man, why I hold for one kind of high place before, just for my hand. I wish my dad was alive to see this. I see my dad now with the roll for his grave. Because it's a person where in take, in hold for high esteem, that then see the afterwards. And they know what's up during that time. Now this man, come the shout, they carry road, name and carry give him, carry put for pocket, sit down, they smile. It pain me, my ego. Like this man carry himself, go sit down in front of them. Some of them don't even understand
that kind of pain. Now they affect them, that they react. Say they are so disappointed. Say, oh, more.
It's annoying, my ego. Like say this man carry himself, go sit down in front of that lefty when students, children, we being your own grandchildren. They fight when they fulfill put food. He go sit down, they say, my children, make una sit down for my back, or make una they shoot, make una they see. Tell me, say the international bodies and the government for no hold the fire. That man supposed him and his crew, they for go sit down for front of that lucky gate. Go sit down there. The children be doing what you're doing. Be doing what you're doing.
Anybody who won't come shoot here, should shoot off.
Who won't shoot? That means they shoot through me.
Fight for your right.
The Nigerian government shot Wale Soyinka because he was trying to fight for the peace and unity and for people to be able to live peacefully in Nigeria. Now, waiting we're supposed to see.
The see we carry that kind of
Nigerian.
My God. Gaslight. You the gaslight young people for a drug dealer.
You can imagine. Nigerians, I got beg una, pardon my voice, say the race. For Benin, the way we take grow. If you knock me, I find you corners, you know, day. I find your mama, I find your papa. Your papa and mama know day, I find your village. That's how we take grow. You did? Time to get up. Time to get up. Forget TikTok. If you're not going to use, the social media the way Mayegu is using it to fight these people and embarrass them and show them to the world, for the world to see and say, oh boy, the black time that is when we go put hands for this matter. They make us forget. Not every time. She strike. I don't tell somebody I think we'll go to cancel this thing.
Nigeria, the discount strike. They say, okay, we are relaxing for 2 days. It will continue later.
Can you imagine? Now you I'm pained. But let me tell you how bad it is. Yeah.
Please share.
I still get family for Nigeria. I still get people I love back home.
We all do.
Home will always be home. You dig? I won't go Nigeria. Now people they carry their Nigerian passport. I know they carry my Nigerian passport past go to the go house. And they go buy visa. They ask me why. I said they say well, it's for my own security. And they tell them, I say it's for my own security, so that as I pass
anything happen to you, you won't be treated as Nigerian, you will be treated as a
British government will say yes, because the British government have a total record of everybody.
And the record will show that a British enter Nigeria, you know, come out. God bless you.
Yes. That's my buy. It cost me money, but I don't do that for my own security. I don't trust what comes out. That country don't break our heart in so many ways. We try our best, but see, I'm literally you go understand what I want to talk now. All of us with the diaspora, if given an opportunity, we'd rather stay back home.
And they tell you, like a lot of people found out. See, people waiting in Nigeria don't understand what you talk
now. They don't understand. The people don't buy a house. We don't hear this is not home, my Nigeria people. This place where we did this, but
they don't go understand. They go say, "Man, you come back, girl, come back." You say that's the problem. You know that is the problem. A lot of you who left Nigeria for this place, right? A lot of us who are here, if not because of this thing about Nigeria, so many of us, after getting here, all the hype, all the old thing that we heard, right? We discovered that if half of this existed in where we are coming from, many will choose to stay in that place. Nigeria.
Of course. Brother, I did tell my mentor.
But they keep making it worse and worse.
I think they give me opportunity. They just, if not the international assembly, anyway, the president voice, they tell me something, chica, what do you want us to do? I say, see, listen. They can tell you, I take go. I beg. We're going to do 2 or 3 things for us. We're going to give us steady power supply first. Then we're going to give us security. They will move about. Normal. Farmers who carry their produce from Igbo, Oriokorion for Benin, reach Lagos or anywhere. You feel me?
Give us this safely.
Give us this tool constant. Make you no blink one day. They will not just use our church mind. Say, okay, we don't get more just throw good road, put small or health care.
And what how people will take run the rest
ourselves. But I tell you why I talk this thing.
Not true. No, you know lie. People will run it. Baba, you know how much people they spend on top generator just for alternative electricity?
Tell me.
Will be like normal thing for Nigeria. You know normal for you to be spending so much money on alternative power and still be paying for power. You know normal. That's to tell you that people will do anything to make things work. Now,
for Benin where I grow, people they drill borehole for their
own borehole
outside. They put stuff outside for the. We they gather money. Say our road don't bad though. Our road don't bad. We'll gather money. We go grade the road. We don't need government. We don't need local government. We don't need anybody. They run ourselves.
People they run their own transformer themselves. People they run their own center themselves. Baba, I've seen communities we've seen them run the center, renovate them. Give them power and see what they will do.
If you want thief money, if they want, at the end, I understand if they want thief, no shaking. You dig? No shaking. But trust me, if you give Nigerians what they want in order for them to survive, do small holidays. Okay, today they carry my children for Benin. We go Lagos, one go beach, one go Flenjo. Oh, from they come back. Without their small, they stay for their normal rent. They pay, they feed everything. You think they thief all this money? They go. Nigerians don't go to look you.
They don't go send you.
They don't go look you.
Only a few people like us go. They say, oh, they steal your money. They steal your money.
Now we're gonna shout. This was the thief. But trust me, Nigeria we don't. My go see Nigerians. I don't waste too much time. I go to hear for my boys say at the vet.
I they feel them. Let me say hear them. I they feel them. Because that's how many of us actually feel, and it's so good that they can hear. All of them can hear us saying this, okay? Because a lot of us actually feel this way. You see, the way you feel, this is the nicest way to express it. If all of us actually, if you are to be told to express the way you actually feel towards the disappointment in that place, right? It will be like saying you're the fight person. Now, imagine you who have come to the UK, you've done everything you can do, you've been successful your own way, and somehow, you would actually love to possibly spend more time in that place than here. Because
I like take this money where I don't make a car and go back.
Can you get?
But you go like go back, make I go be employer of labor, make people they happy.
A lot of people like that.
I know they brag, I won't brag. I know how many people will be I don't even know why they send £10 here, £20 there, add to your school fees there. I bet they buy yam. They buy, you know they remove anything from my body because brother, when we die, what next? When we die, what next?
People will get planned to go back with their successes. They have been told if you don't get anything to do with your money, go get another mortgage, go use and buy mortgage house. Or if you don't have any, if you are so lonely and bored, no call Nigeria, go another place, go spend your holiday. People are saying that to their loved one.
Brother, it don't tire me.
And some people think we should mind our business, me and you.
Mind
your business. Stay your abroad. Leave us alone. Are you being serious?
Mind his business. Not all of us will they fight for.
You know?
My sister, they tell me she carry 10,000 naira enter market, don't go buy yam. 2 bar of yam, 2K. When she take picture of me, they tell her, like yam, they do sacrifice with this. That's yam small for 2 grand.
You understand?
For 2 grand.
So we can't keep quiet. If they don't understand what it means, I have seen people who have told me one-on-one, right? that this is their so years that they've actually been willing to go back. They built houses there, right? They built houses. They have their own stuff there. Some of them were even planning to go back and then start some businesses so that they will imagine, people with a dream say they're going to come here. So now waiting, all of us, they kind of dream with that. Man, once at some point, I'll just be in Nigeria. I'll be spending 6 months in Nigeria and 2 months in the UK. I'll be, that kind of plan where they our head. Now you did there. You don't get grow old. Now you are unable to do this, not because you don't have the means to. But it is not about risk. Are you willing? Your money or your life? I mean, your life or your peace. So now the choice is yours. And you say you want to go
house. I did go house for January last year.
Yeah.
I had anxiety after how many years?
So
I did plane. They go.
Yeah.
I did go. Pilot say we'll soon land Mauritala Mohammed International Airport. My heart felt caught. Say, hey, God.
God damn it.
Only time I said, Chikala, cool down. I believe, boy. Come on, nothing they happen. Almost I land now carry my jam body, deliver for airport. Now saying I believe body I want to so any so will run it down. But now ball out. If I ball out like this, I see the way things they be. First of all, they hit normal. But I don't care. They happen. Say, hey, back home. I can't see what they happen. But you go and bite my hand. How do these people sleep at night?
They do. They sleep sound and well.
thiefnubu, how do you sleep at night at Papio? How will they sleep on? They're not going to find these people children. And they tell them now, Nigeria.
They are
find their kids, man.
May they push us there slowly.
But you man, let somebody else.
No, you do well.
Doing what you're doing. I got your back 110%, bro.
Thank you so much, sir.
I'll keep sharing. I'll keep promoting for you. I'm happy about this thing, and God will keep you and your family. And Glasgow, and my backyard, don't worry. That it comes Scotland like no man's business, man. So when next I come, man, I will find you. Maybe not coffee, maybe we drink, maybe we hug.
You get
man, one Nigeria, my brother, one love, man.
One love. So
love.
Take it easy too, okay? You have a good one, Chica, right? Nice one, sir. That's the Chica, ladies and gentlemen, from Nottinghamshire. Did I get it right? How did I miss that? Okay, anyway, that's a good one. So you should know that we have a lot of us that are real victims of the contraption, the failed contraption. And somehow we are going to react. And the time to react is, we're actually reacting, but it's this reaction that is going to take every one of us to another level. And only these guys will push us there. So they should keep it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you to you. I want to go get ready for the evening, later in the evening, right? Hopefully, I'll be able to kind of do that. I have the news that the committee set up by the Kaduna State House of Assembly to investigate Kaduna Little Finger, El Rufaya. They have indicted him, and they have now recommended that he must be prosecuted for corruption and misuse of power. That's going to be interesting. I will see you later this evening. Thank you so much for your time, and you all have a wonderful afternoon, or maybe morning. See you soon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. bá ṣe eré àní máyégún máa wí. máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. máyégún dáyàrí pòlítíkò. máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ máyégún. máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. àní máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. máyégún ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. lórí Facebook. máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. lórí YouTube. máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. ijó ìgbádìyẹ. máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. àyè máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. tẹnitẹni ọmọ máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.